In today's tutorial, I want to take you through spatial analysis of internally displaced persons, IDPs, in Borno State, Nigeria. So I have data of internally displaced people from Nigeria, and this data I got it from Humanitarian Data Exchange, and the data as at 2023. So the data is a voluminous data that covers a lot, and can be useful for a whole lot of analysis on internally displaced people in the northeastern part of Nigeria. And the date of survey, you can see it here as at 2023, and the population types is internally displaced persons dispersed in the host communities. And you can see the state here, the LGA, the political ward, and if I move on, you can see a whole lot of informations: the site name, household, individual affected, site start dates. You can see the site classification, those that are in rural area and those that are urban area. And the reason for the displacement is also stated here, and this is it. Some are communal clash, farmer herders clash, and some that are due to insurgency are also stated here. Then a lot of informations in this data set. You can see it as a 2022, 2021 informations, and so on. So this data is voluminous, and you can use it for a lot of analysis. And the data is further divided into female children, male adults, female adults, and a lot of categories. And of course, the total male and total female is also stated here. But today, let's just take Borno State for example. And also, if you come to this second sheet, you can see the dictionary of the data. If you want to read more about the data, everything, the description of the data and the terminology is also covered here. But today we want to see spatial analysis of this internally displaced persons data, taking Borno State for instance. So I have taken only Borno State, and I've cleaned and arranged the data here for the purpose of this exercise. So I pick only Borno State, and also clean it, because the original data, if I go back here, it include Adamawa, Bauchi, Borno, Gombe, Taraba, and Yobe. But I'm taking Borno only for the purpose of this exercise. So I've arranged the data. So let's now go to ArcGIS to do the spatial analysis. So to do that, let's bring in the shapefile of Borno states. So Borno LGAs, click on add. So this is Borno LGA. If I right click and open the attribute table, we can see the attributes of this shapefile of Borno State. So our interest is on the name of the LGA. Now the data I've cleaned, which is this, let's save it. Click on file, save as. Let's save it as IDP data sheet 1. Then let's change the format to CSV, delimited value, and click on save. Click OK. Click yes. So we have saved it now. So let's now go to ArcGIS again. So let's load in the data. Click on add, and let's bring in that IDPs data sheet. This is it, IDP data sheet 1, and click on add. So if I right click the data sheet and open, I can see the informations. So the common field here, what we want to do now is to join this IDPs data to shapefile of Borno State. So this common field is what we will use to join. So let's close it. So come to the shapefile of Borno State, right click, and you see joins and relates. Click on join. So now we want to join the common field is name, and we want to join it to this IDP datasheet 1, which is this. Then the common field is name. Click on OK. So if I come back here, right click and open the attribute table, so you can see that the sheet has been joined. The information on the IDPs has been joined with the shapefile. Now to make it permanent, you have to export it and save it as a shapefile. To do that, right click, come to data and export. So specify it, let's call it IDPs data. So click on save and click on OK. Click yes to add it to the map. So now we have it here. So we can now remove this since we don't need it again. So we have the IDPs data now and Borno State LGA. Now if I right click and open the attribute table, so I have the number of household affected, the individuals affected, the total male affected, and total female and the total individuals affected here. So to spatially analyze, you may want to see in each local government how many people are affected or how many households are affected. So you can simply do that, just simple analysis. Right click for instance and come to properties. So here come to symbology and come to categories. So we want to use unique value. Let's for instance say the number of households that were displaced. Click on add value, uncheck this and click on OK. So now the zero, this zero are the LGA where there is no data available, and I read in the document that this is as a result of lack of access to these LGAs. So now I can label each of these by right clicking and come to properties, come to label and label these features. So let's label with household, that is the number of household affected, and I can leave the color as black and make it bold. Then let's say 9 and click on OK. So we can see the number of households affected in each local government. You can see the number of households. So we can actually label the LGA for us to see the names. So let's change the color to white and make it bold. Click on OK. So in each local government, we can see the number of people, household that were affected. You can see the number of households that were affected showing in these figures. So another thing we can do, we can equally want to see the number of male or females that were affected. To do that, click on this IDPs data and come to properties. So instead of household, we can change it to total female that were affected or displaced. So you can see these are total females displaced in each of the local governments. I can see it here as well. Then another thing we can do, we might want to, for example, let's go to properties again, come to symbology, and here instead of categories, let's go to charts and let's do it with bar and column. Let's say we want to represent the feed we want to use is total number, click here and click on apply to see. Click OK. So we can see using bar charts the number of people affected in each local government. We have labeled it, and we use pie chart to represent it. So the one with 0 are areas or local governments that are not accessible. We can do a whole lot of things here with these data sets. So this one is just to show you the things, many things you can do with the data set. Alternatively, you can come back to the properties, and instead of this, you can go back to categories and categorize again with the number of male affected, and click on the field. So change this to male and click on OK. So you can see the number of male affected in each, or displaced in each local government. So if you come to the raw data that I showed you, the number of adult male, if your interest is in the adult male, adult female, or even female at the age bracket of 6 to 12, all those information are available that you can analyze. And if you also want to see elderly male or elderly females above 60 years of age, you can analyze them and see the number affected in each local government. So in essence, this is just to show you the spatial analysis of internally displaced persons in Borno. There are many things you can do with it. Thank you for watching.